welcome to Hexes and Horrors, a little bit of a different video format today. If you watched my last video, I did give an update on how I was starting to incorporate some yoga flows into my YouTube channel. I am a certified yoga instructor and I've been teaching for about 7 years. But recently I moved from New York to Pennsylvania, and since we've been living here, which has been about 2 years now, I haven't really had much of an opportunity to teach the way that I used to. I used to teach much more consistently at a particular studio in New York. And here I've been kind of subbing for instructors here and there, but don't really have a yoga home. So I thought, what better time to bring my yoga to the internet, put some stuff on YouTube, see if anyone is interested in following along. And it's going to be a great way for me to get back into teaching a little more and teach more consistently, even though I don't have a physical audience in front of me. This is Buckley. He is ready to practice as well. So if you are not ready, go ahead and grab your mat, grab some water, grab whatever props you might need for today's practice, and I'll see you back here. So to start today's practice, we are going to begin in a child's pose. So come on over onto your hands and knees, and then bring your knees roughly mats width distance apart. Bring your big toes to connect behind you, and start to gently press your hips back towards your heels. You might want to widen the knees a little further here, or even bring them closer together. And then gently walk your fingertips out in front of you. And I like to actually rest my elbows down on the mat for my first child's pose of a practice. So I'm going to go ahead and bend my elbows, but you can do whatever feels best for you. And just begin to slow down your breathing here. As you inhale, imagine that you're sending that breath up between the shoulder blades to that space in the upper back. And as you exhale, see if you can sink your hips a little bit further back towards your heels, just softly resting your forehead on the mat here. Toes are untucked, as you can see. And at this point, we're going to gently walk the fingertips out a little further if your elbows were resting down like mine were. And now the elbows are lifted. We're lengthening through the arms, walking the fingertips out a little further, but being mindful that we're not pulling the hips away from the heels in order to do that. And just roll your shoulders down towards the mat here. Press into the palms. Go ahead and walk your hands over towards the right side of the mat. You'll want to lift your head up off the mat before doing so. And continue to press your left hip back towards your left heel here. You can go ahead and rest the forehead back down on the mat. Palms are pressing into the ground, and you're just continuously walking your fingertips further out until you feel that nice long stretch through the left side of the body, from that left hip crease all the way up to the left fingertips. If you'd like a little more of a stretch here, you can walk your left hand over and stack it on top of the right. That is going to be a more intense stretch. And again, continue to pull your left hip back. You don't want it coming forward because that's not going to give you quite as big of a stretch as you could get here. Keep breathing. And if you stacked your hands, release that left hand and walk your hands back towards center. Forehead lifts up. You're going to walk your hands all the way over to the left opposite side here. Go ahead and rest the forehead back down and press that right hip now back towards the right heel as you walk your fingertips out in front of you towards that kind of left corner. Again, if you want more intense of a stretch, you can stack your right hand on top of your left and continue pressing the right hip back. Feel that stretch through the right side body. And lift the forehead as you walk your hands back to center. Child's pose one more time. From here, make your way into a tabletop. Come up onto your hands and knees. You're going to bring your knees right underneath your hips. Toes are still untucked here, so that shoelace part of your foot is connected to the mat. And your hands are directly under your shoulders. Spine is neutral. Spread your fingers out wide here and press all 10 finger pads into the mat. And then imagine like you're dragging your wrists back towards your heels without actually moving them. We're going to move into 3 cat-cows here. So on an inhale, you're going to reach your tailbone up towards the ceiling, bringing a little arch into the spine as you pull the heart forward and slightly lift the gaze. Take a deep breath in here in your cow pose. And as you exhale, begin to reach the tailbone down towards the ground as you round into the spine for cat pose, tucking the chin to the chest. Inhale, come back through cow. Tailbone lifts, heart pulls forward. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Tailbone is reaching down towards the ground. And one more time, inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat. Come back into a neutral spine here. You're going to reach your right arm up towards the ceiling, open the chest to the right. And as you exhale, thread the needle, bring that right arm underneath the left as you bring your right ear down towards the mat. Go ahead and pull your left hip back in space here. It tends to want to lean over to the left in this pose. And you can keep your left hand right where it is or walk your left fingertips out in front of you, lengthening the arm and that left side of the body. You might also choose to lift the left arm towards the ceiling and wrap it around the back as though you're reaching for the top of that right thigh. And here you're pressing the back of your right hand into the ground, feeling that stretch through the outer right shoulder. Release your left hand if you took a half bind. Bring the left hand back down to the mat and press into the ground to reach the right arm high again, opening the chest one more time to the right. Right hand to the mat, tabletop pose. Inhale, come back through that cow pose just one time here. Exhale, cat. Come back into a neutral spine. This time the left arm reaches up towards the ceiling, chest opens to the left. As you exhale, thread the needle, left arm underneath the right, and bring your left ear to the mat. And just like on the other side, I'm pressing the back of my left hand into the ground here. And you can walk your right fingertips out forward, create some length through the right side, or you can reach the right arm up towards the ceiling and take that half bind, wrapping the arm around the back, and reaching your fingertips towards that upper left thigh or hip crease. And continue breathing here in through the nose, out through the nose. Wherever your right hand is, go ahead and return it to the mat. Press into the ground to reach the left arm high one more time. And exhale, tabletop pose again. One more time, inhale, cow pose, tailbone lifts. Exhale, cat, round into the spine. And find that neutral spine again in your tabletop pose. From your tabletop pose, start to tuck your toes. You're going to engage the core here, maybe even round the back slightly like you did in that cat pose. Press into the palms and lift the knees off the mat just to a hover. Keep your gaze down between your thumbs so the neck stays in line with the spine here. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, downward facing dog, press the hips high. Go ahead and pedal out the feet, bend into the left knee, bend into the right knee. Hello, Buckley. You can even stay static here instead of pedaling the feet and keep the knees slightly bent, but reach that tailbone nice and high. Imagine you're drawing your butt bones away from each other here to either side of the room and relax the head and neck. From here, we're going to take just some rolls forward into a plank pose. Now, my down dog is a little short at the moment, so I'm going to scoot my hands up forward. And then I'm going to come up onto the balls of the feet. Inhale as I roll my way forward to a plank pose. And on the exhale, I'm going to bend the knees, reach my hips back towards my heels, and then find that downward facing dog again. Tailbone goes high. Inhale, round forward plank pose. Exhale, bend the knees, hips press back, downward facing dog. One last time. Inhale, roll forward.
Exhale, press it back. Downward facing dog. From your down dog, go ahead and take your right leg towards the ceiling. Keep the toes pointing down, flex through that foot. Press out through that right heel like you're trying to touch the wall behind you. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, bend the knee, open the hip, reach the right knee high towards the ceiling. Try to keep your right armpit reaching down towards the mat here. Imagine you're reaching that right heel towards your left glute. Inhale, re-extend the right leg out behind you. Exhale, draw the knee to the nose and step your right foot between your hands. In this runner's lunge, just take a little shift forward and back. Good, and from here, plant the left hand down to the mat, reach the right arm high, twisting towards the right. Keep lifting through that left thigh bone here. One more inhale. And exhale, right hand returns to the mat. Go ahead and drop your left knee down, untuck the left toes. Inhale, low lunge. In your low lunge, your right knee is stacking directly over your right ankle and your tailbone is reaching down towards the ground just like it was in those cow poses, keeping length through the spine, nice and neutral here. Inhale, reach the arms high, and as you exhale, open out to the right, tee the arms, thumbs can point up towards the ceiling. And then take that right hand and just reach it back towards your left leg. You can connect it to your calf, your ankle, your left thigh, whatever is accessible here for you. Left arm is reaching up and over. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, just bring your hands back to the mat. Take your right hand inside your right foot and heel toe that right foot out towards the edge of your mat. And you're going to point your right toes out, right heel inward for lizard pose. You might stay up on your hands here, and you might notice I'm just scooting my left leg back a little further just to widen my stance. You can stay up on your hands here. You can also come down to the forearms in your lizard pose. And sometimes it even feels better for me if I tuck the toes and lift the leg. It gets a different part of that left hip flexor. So it really just depends on what you're looking for today and what feels best for you. I'm going to stay down on my forearms. And while I'm here, I'm continuing to draw this right knee in towards the midline of the body, so I'm not allowing it to kind of just fall out to the side here. I am keeping that leg nice and active. If you're on your forearms, you may choose to stay here. Otherwise, you can reach your right arm back behind you, bend that left knee, and begin to draw your foot to your hand here. If you have the hand connected with the foot, press the foot into the hand and open the chest towards the ceiling. At the same time, are you still pressing through the inner edge of that right foot, again, to draw this right knee in towards the midline of the body so it's not falling out towards the side? If you have hand to foot, slowly and gently release and bring your right hand down. We're going to come up onto the hands here from wherever you were and heel toe the right foot back in towards the center of the mat. Tuck the left toes, lift the left knee. You're going to plant your left hand down and move into a side plank from here. So I'm going to rotate to the outer edge of my left foot or the pinky side edge. I'm going to reach my right arm towards the ceiling, engage my core, and step that right foot back to stack it on top of the left. You can also keep your right foot down to modify. Another modification would be to plant this right foot and bring the left knee down to the mat for a modified side plank. So plenty of different options here, and if you are in the full version, you do not have to stack the feet. You can stagger the feet. Keep breathing. Keep lifting that right hip nice and high, pressing through the 5 pads of your fingers on that left hand. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, right hand to the mat, finding yourself in a plank pose. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, lower the knees to the mat, or you might feel like you're ready for a chaturanga here. bend the elbows, lower chest and chin. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, lower forehead to the mat. Inhale, baby cobra, drawing elbows in towards the rib cage. Exhale, tuck the toes and find your downward facing dog. Left leg to the ceiling here. Flex the toes, reach out through that heel. Take a breath in. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Again, you're reaching that left knee nice and high, reaching your left heel towards your right glute, keeping your neck relaxed and keeping that left armpit squared with the right. Inhale to re-extend the left leg out behind you. Exhale, knee to nose. And step the left foot between the hands. And again, just shift the weight forward and back here in this runner's lunge. And from here, plant the right hand down, left arm reaches high, opening the chest to the left. I'd bring that left hand down. Go ahead and lower the right knee to the mat, untuck the right toes, and inhale, low lunge. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Take a breath in. As you exhale, T-twist to the left. Keeping your shoulders stacked over hips here, and continue to draw the inner thighs towards each other. You might choose to stay here, or you can start to reach that left hand back towards the back of the right leg as you reach the right arm up and over. Keep lifting through the chest here, through that heart space. And gently bring the hands back to the mat. You're going to bring your left hand inside the left foot and walk that left foot out towards the edge of the mat. And if you need to widen your stance, you can go ahead and scoot your right knee back a little further behind you, but you might be fine right where you are. Left toes are angling out, left heel angling in. And we're here for our lizard pose. So again, there's a few different options here. You can stay here on your hands and pull the heart forward. Sometimes it's nice to stay on the fingertips as well, or if you have a block, you can place the block there. I should have said that on the first round. Or you can come down to the forearms in your lizard pose. I think I had also mentioned tucking the toes and lifting that right leg. This feels really nice here on that hip flexor. But I'm going to keep it even here and stay on my forearms like I did on the other side, even though one side might be different from the other for everyone. Option to stay here. If you're on your forearms, though, you can also reach that left arm back behind you, bend the right knee, and draw the foot to the hand. If that's where you are, press your right foot into your hand and continue to roll that left shoulder back as you open your chest towards the ceiling. Being mindful again of that left knee and foot, you want to still be pressing into the inner edge, that big toe side of your left foot, and energetically drawing the left knee in instead of letting it fall out to the side. Gently release the foot if you have hold of it and bring the left hand back to the mat. And we'll all come back up on our hands here. Go ahead and tuck the right toes to lift that knee. Plant your right hand down. We'll start to move into a side plank here. So I'm going to rotate to the pinky side edge of my right foot. And then I'm going to engage the core and step this left foot back. Once I'm there, I'm going to reach the left arm overhead. Core is engaged and that left hip continues to lift up high towards the ceiling. Press into that right palm, but also the pads of your fingers to take some strain out of the wrist. You can also modify here using the same modifications from earlier. Take an inhale here and exhale, left hand to the mat. Find your plank pose. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, either chaturanga or knees, chest, chin, untuck the toes as you inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, and exhale, down dog. Right leg towards the ceiling again, big breath in. Exhale, bring your right knee to your right elbow, and then bring your right toes towards your left wrist, setting up for pigeon pose. half pigeon rather. So you're going to lower that right knee down, lower the left knee down, untuck the toes, and then just gently scoot that left leg back behind you. Flex through the right foot and press down through that left hip point. We're going to walk up onto our hands, proud pigeon here for just a moment. Roll the shoulders back and down. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, slowly begin to walk your hands out for your half pigeon. You can stay right up on your hands here. You can put your hands or forehead onto a block. You might come to your forearms. You might come all the way down and rest the forehead on the mat, whatever works for you here. But wherever you are, just be mindful of the distribution of weight between the hips. So right now I'm just rocking mine back and forth. And you can notice when you're all the way over onto your right hip like I am right now, it's just not going to feel even. It's not going to feel balanced and aligned, which is what we want. So you want to make sure that you're pressing down through that right hip point, but also through the left. You feel a nice stretch through that outer right glute and hip here. Slowly start to walk your hands back up towards that right shin. We're going to lean over onto the right hip here and just swing that left leg around. And we're going to come into fire log pose here for a moment. So you're going to stack your left heel over your right knee and then stack your left knee over your right heel. If they're not completely stacked, that's perfectly fine. You can have them, further out like this. And if this feels like enough, you're going to stay right here. Relax your arms down by your sides. I like to flex the toes in towards my midline here just to protect my knees. If you feel up for it, you can start to walk the hands forward. You can come onto your palms, maybe even your forearms. Just being mindful of the stretch here, particularly in that left outer hip. And walk the hands back up. You're going to lean back, bring your hands just behind you so that you can release the legs here. Bring your feet mat width distance apart. And you're just going to gently rock the knees side to side here. And come back to center, crisscross your feet in front of you, roll forward, and find your downward facing dog. Coming to the other side here, bring the left leg towards the ceiling, take a breath in. And as you exhale, bring your left knee to your left elbow, and then cross those left toes over towards the right wrist, and gently bring the left knee down, bring the right knee down, scoot that right leg back behind you as you untuck the toes and point them directly back. I don't think he's in the full frame, but Buckley just did a nice little down dog into an up dog. He's very well versed in the practice. Okay, so from here, walk your hands up into that proud pigeon. Just bring them right by, you don't need to be directly next to your hips, but a little bit in front. Take a deep breath in, soften the shoulders. Inhale as you lift the heart. And on your exhale, start to walk your hands out in front of you. You can stay right here. You can place a block underneath the hands even, or the forearms. You can put your head on a block. You can come down to your forearms. Again, being mindful of that distribution of weight here and just making sure that you're not leaning too far over onto the left side. You want your weight to be evenly distributed between both hips. And gently walk your hands back up towards that left shin. We're going to lean over onto the left hip here to swing the right leg around. And again, coming into that fire log pose, stacking the right heel over the left knee and right knee over the left heel. Flexing the toes inward towards that midline. And if this feels good, we stay right here. Maybe you walk your hands forward slightly. Maybe you come down onto your forearms. And again, this is your practice, so wherever you are is perfectly fine. That is exactly where you should be. Just because I'm on my forearms or I'm on my hands or wherever I am does not mean that you need to be in the same place. So you are going to take it just to where you feel comfortable and feel enough of a stretch through the hips. Mostly that outer right hip is what we're going for here. And gently walk your hands back up. Same as before, we're going to bring the hands behind us, fingertips pointing towards the glutes. Release the legs and just windshield wiper the knees from side to side as you're leaning slightly back here. And come back through center. Crisscross the feet and just sit up for a moment here, cross-legged. And then I know I said to sit cross-legged, but from there, we're going to bring the soles of the feet to the mat, knees pointing upwards, and feet are about hip distance apart here. We're going to reach the arms out in front of us, palms facing each other, sitting up nice and tall, crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. Shoulders are soft. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, we're going to just gently lower all the way onto the back here, maintaining that core control as we lower down. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze here. And maybe rock side to side or make circular motions with the knees. And if you were rocking or making circular motions, come back to center. From here, you're going to keep the right knee hugging in towards the chest, but extend that left leg out long. Flex the left toes towards the left hip, and then just draw the right knee in closer to the chest here. And you're really pressing down through that left thigh bone, keeping that left leg planted on the ground here. And then just start to gently make circles with the right knee, moving in one direction. And then take your circles the opposite way. And come back to stillness. You're going to come to a half happy baby by reaching that right heel towards the ceiling. Bring your fingers, your hand rather, to the outer edge of that right foot, that pinky side edge. And then I like to bring my left hand just to the top of my left thigh to kind of just keep anchoring it down and reminding myself not to lift that leg. You're going to draw your right knee down towards the outside of that right shoulder or armpit and press your foot into your hand, while at the same time pulling your foot down towards the ground. So you're creating this push-pull motion, and you'll feel that stretch through the inner groin and that inner right thigh area. And gently release that half happy baby. Hug the right knee in towards the chest again here. And then come into a supine twist by drawing the right knee over the left side of the body. You might bring your left hand to that outer right thigh and extend the right arm out towards the right. You can keep your gaze up towards the ceiling here. You can also bring your gaze towards your right fingertips. And just let your right shoulder relax here like it's just melting into the ground. And gently return your gaze to center if it's not already there. You're going to bring the right knee back into the chest, hug that knee in one more time, and then you're going to switch by extending the right leg out long and drawing the left knee into the chest here. And start to take those circles in one direction with the left knee. And switch directions, moving the opposite way. And then come back to stillness and find that half happy baby on the left side here. Hands to the outer edge of that left foot as you flex through the foot and draw the knee down to the outer edge of the mat, kind of right outside that armpit or shoulder. I like to again bring my opposite hand to that top of the thigh and create that push-pull motion. So you're pulling that knee down towards the mat, but at the same time you're pressing the foot into the hand. And you'll feel it more when you create that push-pull motion. You'll really feel the stretch through that inner thigh. Gently release the half happy baby, hug the left knee in towards the chest, and then move on over into that supine twist, drawing the left knee over to the right side of the body. Left arm extends out long, and you can turn your gaze towards the left fingertips, or you can keep gazing up towards center, whatever feels better for you and your neck. And gently release, hug the left knee into the chest one more time, and extend the left leg long to meet the right leg. Just flex both feet here for a moment. And then we're going to bring both knees back into the chest one more time. Then extend your legs up towards the ceiling, flex the toes. We're going to cross the right leg over the left here so that the knees are stacking on top of one another. And then you're going to go ahead and draw the feet towards you as you grab hold of the pinky side edge of both feet. And you're going to gently pull the feet towards your shoulders and also down towards the mat. This is going to give you a pretty intense outer hip stretch here. And softly release. And extend the legs up towards the ceiling again, and we'll take that stretch the opposite way. So left leg crosses over the right, bend the knees, and then bring your hands to the pinky side edge of both feet. So knees are connected here. You're just going to draw the feet away from each other and down towards the ground. You'll definitely feel that stretch here, so you'll know what I'm talking about, and you'll know when you feel it. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed. Gently release the feet, re-extend the legs up towards the ceiling, and full happy baby is our last pose here. Bend the knees and draw the hands to the pinky side edge of both feet. And same as we did in those half happy babies, we are creating a push-pull motion here. So as you're drawing your knees and your feet down towards the mat, you're pressing the hands, or excuse me, pressing the feet into the hands at the same time. And you're going to feel that stretch activate more when you do that. Keep your shoulders soft here, so don't allow the shoulders to lift up off of the mat. And it might feel really nice to just stay right here in that stretch. Or if you'd like to rock side to side, you can take a little rock here. You may have to lose a little bit of that push-pull motion as you rock from left to right. That's okay. Some people also like to extend one leg and then the other, feeling a stretch through the whole backside of the leg, the hamstring, the calf. That is another option here. And then once you're finished with your happy baby, you're going to bring both knees into the chest again. Give yourself a final squeeze. And then lift your shoulders off of the mat, lift your head off of the mat, and draw your nose to your knees like you're tucking into the tiniest ball that you could ever squeeze into. Take a deep, deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, release into your Shavasana. Arms extend down by the sides, legs extend long. And you can have your feet spaced out as much or as little as you'd like here. Same for your arms. You're just going to do whatever feels comfortable. And if at any point you are uncomfortable, then feel free to switch your position or move an arm, move a leg. Do whatever you need to do to find comfort here. And just allow yourself to fully release into this pose. Shavasana is a corpse pose for a reason, and a good reason. Everything that you do in a yoga practice is leading up to this one posture right here. So can you allow yourself to just release, push any thoughts out of your head that are coming into it, and they will naturally come. So don't be frustrated if you keep thinking of different things. The idea is to just let it go and come back to your body, come back to your breath, and allow that to be your main focus here, despite any sounds around you, thoughts coming in and out of your head. Can you just focus on your breath, your body, how you're feeling in this moment? If you'd like to stay in your Shavasana for a little while longer, you're absolutely welcome to. Or if you're ready to make your way out of your practice today, you can start to gently just wiggle out your toes and your fingers. And then allow that movement to travel up into the wrists and the ankles, just moving the feet side to side, maybe circling the wrists out. Maybe give a little wiggle of the shoulders. You can move the head softly from side to side, reawakening the body here. And when you're ready, you'll hug your knees back into your chest one final time. I feel like I said that before, but this is really the final time. Give yourself a good squeeze and take a moment of gratitude just to thank yourself for coming to your mat today, for making some time for you. Then you're going to roll onto one side here, the right or the left, staying tucked in that little ball. And you can use your top hand to press against the floor to come up into a comfortable seat. And to close our practice today, we'll bring the hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Relax your shoulders, relax the face. Just allow your thumbs to rest against your sternum here. Close the eyes if they're not already closed, and you're just going to follow my cues here. You're going to take your prayer hands, so bring your thumbs all the way up to the forehead, just slightly above the eyes and right at the center of the forehead where that third eye lies. This place where your thoughts begin to take form. And then slide your thumbs down over your lips where your thoughts become words. And slide your thumbs all the way back down to the heart again where they started, where your words become actions. And may your actions always be peaceful, kind, and loving towards others. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this quick little practice. I don't think it was that quick, actually. I hope you feel good. I am going to keep posting more yoga videos like this on my channel. I do have a yoga channel specifically, but I haven't logged into it in about a year, and there's really nothing on it. So I'll probably put the videos on both platforms, just with a different introduction. But since so many of you are here for spooky, creepy things, let me know what you thought, because this is obviously very different and not that at all. But I would love to still post yoga videos and incorporate this into my channel while still doing all the spooky things. So please let me know what you thought. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to having more of you practice yoga with me. Thanks so much for joining in this flow, and I will see you guys next time.